Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo! Yeah.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
You want answers.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Phil, you're one of the best baseball announcers in the country, and Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
See ya, D-Mac. Hold on now, Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown. How about that Heisman, Mark Jones? How do you like it? Wide open again.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
So revenge can be a powerful factor in business, relationships, and especially sports. You could probably think of a few really good series, really good games, where former players of different teams, different teammates, different coaches, whoever it may be, have gone against their former team. And the storyline going into it has a lot of revenge surrounding it. And I think that's the question for a lot of Arkansas fans concerning this game. Is this a revenge game for Ty Storey coming back to Fayetteville in a different uniform, in a Hilltopper uniform, playing for Western Kentucky as his starting quarterback? I think that's the question and a lot of what we're going to stick to today here on Halftime. Broadcasting live on ESPN Arkansas, HitThatLine.com, 96.3 Hot Springs Central, Arkansas, 95.3 the River Valley and Fort Smith, 104.3 Harrison, Mount Nome, also broadcasting on HitThatLine.com and Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope live streaming. Always going to be live doing that. So that question, I think, has been raised. And I want to get to the audio first of Ty Storey talking about playing against his former team. Now, he seems a guy, based on what we heard last year, I don't know if you call him a man of few words, but he's not like that extremely outspoken or anything. But here's what Ty Storey had to say about the game tomorrow earlier this week.
It's going to be fun just to get back to the home state, obviously, back to that area. It's a great area to be in, just to be able to go back with these guys and have them kind of see where I'm from and be able to play those guys. It's going to be fun.
What is that going to be like for you? I mean, you spend a lot of your time there.
Definitely. I mean, it's a cool atmosphere. It's a cool area just in general. So just being able to do that, it's obviously going to be a little different first playing different side, but I'm happy to be here and happy to be able to go back and play those guys.
Is there any extra motivation there for, personally for you?
We got to get a win. These last 2 weeks have been rough on us. I've been in the game fighting to the end, and it just hasn't came our way. So keep grinding and try to find a win any way we can.
Been getting any text messages or a lot of communication between guys, a little chatter?
Sure. Yeah, I talked to a couple of them. Actually FaceTimed a guy yesterday on the team and spent 4 years with a lot of those guys. Mm-hmm. And so they're good guys, and I look forward to being able to see them this weekend.
So Ty, like many other players, is going to avoid the personal question, regardless if it is or not. And I very much think this is a personal game for Ty Storey coming back to Fayetteville, as it would for many people who transferred from Arkansas, transferred from wherever school, and came back. That's just a part of it. It amps it up. It gets you amped up. So, again, our halftime poll question, how motivated is Ty Storey going to be tomorrow? I know we have a lot of listeners in the Charleston area. Charleston only about 20 minutes or so from the ESPN Arkansas studios. There's going to be a lot of friends of Ty Storey, a lot of family of Ty Storey, some Hog fans that will be cheering for Ty Storey, and some Hog fans that hope Western Kentucky wins. It's going to be kind of contradictory to what they've done for the last 40 or 50 years of their life, but kind of family every once in a while takes a precedent over your favorite football team. You got to remember, he's coming back to a school that a fan base didn't really believe in him, and they believed in him more than Cole Kelly, but they didn't believe he was the right guy to take this Chad Morris offense to the next level. And this is a fan base that lauded Nick Starkel as the next Ryan Mallett, that thought Ben Hicks was going to be a pretty good addition. It hasn't been the case. So just keep that in mind. This offensive line didn't really give him any time last year, did not give him any time to throw the football. He was on his back. I think one of the most memorable games that Clay Henry was talking about on the Morning Rush this week was Ole Miss, when it just looked beaten and battered. And he took on the Ole Miss cornerback to try and get that first down, was not successful, gets knocked out of the concussion. We know the story from there on out. And I just think when Chad Morris talked about Ty's story earlier this week, and it says he's excited for Ty, he's excited for where he's come in, Morris said that he met with him and his family and he didn't want him to leave. I don't know if I necessarily buy that 100%. I think based off what Joe Craddock and Chad Morris saw from last season, and I'll give Ty the credit, the fact that he was a decent runner. He wasn't horrendous like last year like Cole Kelly was, but the arm strength was such an issue, more of an issue than it was for Ben Hicks this year when it came to stretching the field. I think one of the most vivid examples I can point to is the Texas A&M game. His final pick, which that ball was 5 yards short of where it was supposed to go. I want to say that was Mike Woods on a go route. I could be wrong on that, but this guy lacked arm strength. That was his weakness of last year's football team. But again, he added the running element that you haven't seen from Nick Starkel or Ben Hicks. We'll see it with John Stephen Jones and KJ Jefferson tomorrow. I think a lot of people are trying to make it out that Ty Storey has been fantastic for Western Kentucky, which has not been the case at all. Yes, he has a pretty good completion percentage. He's about 70% completion, but he's thrown 7 touchdowns and 5 picks, and he didn't start at the beginning of the season. Steven Duncan started at the beginning of the year. And when he came in after Duncan, he had 4 straight wins, and they've struggled. I think they've lost the last 2 games. But when you use that narrative, it sounds better that Ty Storey's having an incredible season for Western Kentucky, because then it builds into the idea that Arkansas really misses him and they needed him. And I go back and forth. Phil and I have gone back and forth of this a bunch, if this team would actually be better off with Ty Storey at quarterback based on what you saw last season and what another year in that offense could do. I truly don't know. I'm not the X and O's guy of the show. Neither is Phil. You probably have to talk to someone far more football advanced than Phil or I. But you look back at his stats last season, 11 touchdowns, 10 receptions. It's not like he blew the world away, but the grass is always greener. And I think what you've seen with Ben Hicks and Nick Starkel so far this season, there's at least a question that has arisen. If Ty Storey had stayed, would this offense be better? Now, because he was in practice last year and on the team last year, the defense is very familiar with this guy. He's reached out to a couple different people. You heard that. John Stephen Jones actually said in a press conference, I think this was last night, you can watch it on hitthatline.com. Andy does a great job of putting all those videos up, that Ty texted John Stephen after his first career touchdown against Alabama, which was kind of cool. And I kind of think that's so. You definitely know that he still keeps in contact with some of his former teammates. So the familiarity between the defense, McTelvin Agim was talking about it this week. You have some of the other defensive players talking about it this week. They know him. They know his tendencies. They know what he's going to try and do on the football field. I know the offense is not going to be the exact same as it was under Chad Morris, but you pick up on someone. It's like you're playing pickup basketball for someone for a year or so. You pick up on that. And remember, Ty Storey's been on the team for a couple years, so it's not, or was on Arkansas for a couple years, so it wasn't just last year, but he had more reps in practice and stuff last year. So that would lead me to believe that the defense will at least have a pretty good understanding of what he's going to try and accomplish on Saturday. Last note to kind of tie up this segment, will his ideology coming in here, will his mindset, will it help or hurt him? I thought Clay brought up a great point earlier this week on Halftime on Wednesday that he could come in too amped up. We've seen different athletes over the years. They're too excited. They're too motivated. They're too locked in that they lose focus and they lose direction and they lose attention to detail because of how juiced up they are for a particular game. For the Arkansas fans listening, you hope that's the case. You hope he gets rattled. You hope he gets distracted. You hope he puts too much personal into this game, because that would mean that he's going to have not necessarily a lackluster day, but he won't be as good as if he would just treat it like another game. Regardless of what Ty Storey says about facing Arkansas again, this is not much more than just a regular game. We're brought to you in part by Breeden RV and Power Sports. Great camping weather is on. And it's so at Breeden RV in Van Buren, they're having their year-end clearance sale going on right now. I mean, there is so much going on at Breeden RV right now. You can save up to so much money on different fifth wheels that are under $30,000. It's the only dealer that gives customers service maintenance for life. New customers get maintenance for life for free. That's the biggest part, for free. Breeden RVs also has a great selection of pre-camp trailers and RVs to choose from. Now is the time to camp. Let Breeden take care of you. Ransom, all those guys over there do a tremendous job. Stop by Breeden RV today in Van Buren, or you can check them out online at BreedenRVs.com. Coming up on halftime, is this the breaking point for Chad Morris and his staff? We'll talk about that next.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson. Follow them on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP and at Ty Sports Radio. This is the Morning Rush.
The lines are getting ridiculous in the bathroom, and people who don't want to spend money on water, they go in and refill their cups inside of the sink, and it's tap water.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help out the people out there.
I'm not refilling my water bottle in the bathroom sink at the stadium. I'm sorry. No.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man. Fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com. A division of Quantum Property Services.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith reminds motorists that texting can be more than a minor distraction. Text messaging has been linked to serious accidents, including a train crash that killed 25 people and a trolley crash that injured nearly 50 people. In both instances, drivers were texting seconds before the crash. Keep your eyes on the road and stay alive. This message is from Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith, reminding everyone, don't tempt fate, that text can wait.
Did you invest in real estate only to find out that real estate takes up too much of your time? If you answered yes, then it's time to make a call to the experts. With more than 30 years of combined property management experience and more than 16,000 units managed, Trinity Multifamily are the ones to call. Get your life back. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
If you have experience transporting frozen and refrigerated goods and want to be part of a trucking family with insurance and be home every week, you need to contact Brent Higgins Trucking. Since 1997, Brent Higgins Trucking in Mulberry has been proudly delivering to and from various areas of the United States, including but not limited to Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Brent Higgins Trucking, where you're a name, not a number. Contact them at 479-997-2366 or at BrentHigginsTrucking.com.
Tire. Yes, tires. Jodys Tire. No, it's JodysAuto.com.
I thought you said they sold tires.
Yes, Jody sells tires. The best brands at the best prices.
Doesn't say tire in their name.
Doesn't say they do brakes and alignments and oil changes either.
So, JodysAuto.com sells tires.
Price match guarantee.
So let's see what they have.
Okay, go to JodysAuto.com and click on Shop for Tires and get a quote. You can even get financing.
Free flat repair?
And free road hazard.
Wow.
Best tire brands and prices, sure, but these folks know tires. And JodysAuto.com has a lot more to offer. 3 locations and one-stop service. Total convenience. One stop for oil changes, repairs, maintenance, tires, towing, and fleets. Voted best of the best because they take care of their customers. Since 1984, convenience and trust, JodysAuto.com.
The largest sporting event in the state of Arkansas will happen Saturday, November 9th, and it's not college football. And Jelco Outdoors is getting you ready for opening day of Modern Gun Deer Season, a tradition like none other. World-famous Rose ground blinds, $20 off. Summit Viper SD climber stand, $50 off. Sitlock Vapor waterproof jacket and pants, $20 off. All Mossberg deer rifles, $20 off. Good luck and safe hunting. And remember, a great hunt begins at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
ESPN 95.3.
Touchdown!
Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
McFadden. Say goodbye. Darren McFadden, 80 yards, touchdown.
Just want to remind everyone that Phil Elson will be joining in hour number 2. He is actually broadcasting his first Arkansas women's basketball game of the season, known as the Screaming Kids game, where there's like 5,000 elementary and I think middle school kids that come to the first women's basketball game of the year. So he's doing that, and then he is going to pop in live from Bud Walton, hour number 2. So really excited about that. Got a bunch of calls and text here on the Cherokee Casino hotline. If you want to get in here, 877-377-6963. Our halftime poll question, the other one is actually the score prediction. What do you think about the game tomorrow? Is Arkansas going to break the streak? Is it going to continue with another decimating non-conference loss? Porter says Arkansas 28, Western Kentucky 20. Hogfin says 34-27 Arkansas. Eric in Hot Springs says 35-21 Arkansas. Jeremiah in Cedarville says 28-21 Arkansas. Phil and I will reveal our score predictions later in the show. We'll also reveal some other media predictions there as well. I think most people think it's going to be a pretty close game. After the game, after the Mississippi State game this previous week, I sent Clay my prediction, and now I'm kind of questioning it a little bit, but it's one of those things where we'll just have to wait and see on it till tomorrow. But if the worst of the worst happens, if Arkansas finds a way to lose to the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, is that the nail in the coffin for Chad Morris? Is he done? I heard Andrew Hutchinson mention the stat on Ruskin and Zach yesterday, how no coach has gone 0-16 in the SEC in 2 years ever, and that's dating back to like the 1930s. Now, Hutch, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe they used to play 8 conference games back then that early. Now, I could be incorrect on that, but that's a long streak. And based on what you have the rest of the way in conference games, do you think that he's going to break the streak? Do you think that Chad Morris is going to find a way to squeeze out an SEC win in Little Rock against Missouri or in Death Valley against LSU? Because I don't. I don't know how you can based on what's happened last season. So I mentioned this thing that Bob said earlier this week, and I want to play the audio for you just so you can have a point of reference in what we were talking about. This was a couple months back. We have Bob Holt of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette on every Thursday, and he told a great story about how when Arkansas almost lost to Arkansas State in the NIT and what that could have meant for Nolan Richardson's future.
I will contend that his biggest victory, most significant victory, was beating Arkansas State in the NIT, because I'm honestly not sure he could have survived that. I know before the game, Dan Ferreter was the chancellor, and of course Frank Bros was the AD, and I believe this is right, that Dan Ferreter actually went to Nolan Richardson's house and just assured him, hey, and they knew how much pressure he was under, not just because, of the rough start he'd had to stay at Arkansas, but also because, Arkansas State. I mean, all the pressure was on Arkansas. It was a free shot for Arkansas State, but they supposedly went to Nolan's house and assured him, hey, no matter what happens, your job's safe. I think John White told Stan Heath that same thing, and Stan got fired. So I don't know if Arkansas had lost that game, I don't know if Nolan Richardson would have kept his job. I can't say he wouldn't have, but I'm not convinced he would have.
So is that a similar type of game where if the worst of the worst happens and Arkansas finds a way to lose this football game tomorrow afternoon, is this the tarmac game? Or is this the game that changes and just completely throws off everyone off the Chad Morris train? Is this one of those unacceptable losses that can't be undone? It's a good question. I kind of want some answers out of that. If anyone want to text in or call in on the Cherokee Casino hotline, I think it is a realistic question to ask of this football game tomorrow. This is not a Dave Van Horn, Arkansas baseball, Euler situation. They have so much clout. They have so much prestige. Noticed how that baseball game did not affect their season at all. And the Trojans stomped them, crushed them, creamed them. Did it affect the baseball season at all? Nope. They get to the College World Series. Dave Van Horn has done too much at Arkansas for losing to an in-state program. And I know Western Kentucky is not an in-state program, but it's a far inferior opponent, and they have a forward cornerback coming in. And that's really the characteristic that makes this football game so interesting. It's that you have a former Arkansas quarterback who started for you last year coming back to Fayetteville. And I'd really like to know, because I know when asked about it, Chad Morris, Ty Storey, they always give the political answers. I want to know what transpired at the end of last year when he decided to transfer. Whose decision ultimately was that? Was it mutual? Was it Chad, hey, I think you need to look for another school? Was it Ty saying, I'm going to go somewhere else? I want to know what actually happened. You're never going to know, just like I don't know if we'll ever figure out what truly happened in the C.J. O'Grady, Chad Morris situation. Sources, you can only accept them to a certain extent unless you get two dudes in a room and shake it out. But that's never going to happen. So if you're Chad Morris, let me go on the defense here of Chad Morris. If you're Chad Morris, how do you explain losses to the fan base and ultimately Hunter Yurchek and the Board of Trustees to Colorado State, North Texas, San Jose State, and Western Kentucky in 2 years? And this is under the assumption that they lose. And you might say, Ty, well, Saban lost to Monroe his first year. Eddie O lost to Troy. They've showed considerable amount of progress since then, when you say, heading into the 2 versus 3 matchup on Saturday. I'd say so. And then there's the question that arises that I've mentioned before, the foundation's money, the capital. Financially, is it too expensive to keep or let him go? What's the more expensive outcome? With the drastic dip in ticket sales, concessions, tons of other things, donations? What's going to be more expensive or less expensive for the foundation? To pay this guy his buyout or to keep him on another year? And again, if he wins this game and then loses the final 2, I would be absolutely shocked if they made a change. That's just my perspective on that. I think Tommy holds the same perspective. I think Tommy holds the perspective, even if they were to lose this game, he still thinks he's going to keep his job. Because, again, Tommy is, tunnel vision's not the right word, but he always looks at, as a general manager of the radio station and others for quite some time, he looks at it for finance first. And he's helped me kind of realize that in a lot of different aspects of life, you have to look at the finances. What does it come down to? How much money are you making for your employer? How much money is Chad Moore losing for his employer? Because let's be honest right now, the direction of the finances for the Arkansas football program are not on the up and up. This is not 2010. This is not 2011. This is what? I can't. I guess Citadel, is that one that you could perspective? I'd have to go back to a period, but they're going down. They're going down. UCA beat this football team this year. That's the clip. We got Ben Crane from Fox 24, I think, in Little Rock. It's whatever the Fox affiliate in Little Rock is. But the clip that we used on our rundown today is my buddy Ben talking about UCA beating Western Kentucky. Not at home, not in Conway, on the road. We've held the arguments on here before that Arkansas State, at least Red Wolf fans hold the belief that they're better than Arkansas and they could beat them. But what do you say about a team in UCA that beat Western Kentucky, and if Arkansas were to lose to them at home and UCA was able to beat them on the road? That's a question you probably don't want to talk about. All right, let's go to the phone lines, 877-377-6963. Who's this on the phone lines?
Robert.
Hey, Robert, what's going on, man? What do you want to talk about today?
Real quick, I'm like this high because I've beat this drum to death. But from the economic standpoint, people are coming on your show, on the morning show, and they tell us we're not renewing our ticket. And I don't know how you can keep him if he loses tomorrow because, I mean, the fan base isn't going to keep going and paying the money for the tickets. You can just, well, like I said, go up the ticket office next year, buy them from there, or buy them from a scalper for $20. You know?
So, Robert, and the question is, again, we got to factor out because his buyout, I believe, is a little over 11 or right at 12. I always forget. I'm a little off on that. So it's not as simple as people aren't renewing tickets, fire him. Like this is very calculated. This is very measured. You have to compare and contrast so many different things. Season tickets, parking passes, donations. This is not just as simple as, well, this amount of people are renewing their season tickets. You got to fire this guy. But I agree with you. I mean, it's trending downward. It's not where you want to be in right now. And Phil and I have talked about on this show. By the way, appreciate the call. We're coming up on a break here, Robert. Phil and I have talked about on this show several times. You're screwed right now. You just are. As an Arkansas fan, you are screwed because you either pay this guy's buyout unless Chad Morris turns around these 3 games. You bet. Who wants to come to Arkansas and coach? It's a big question right now. Who do you want? Who could you get? And who wants to come to the University of Arkansas and turn this football team around? I don't think the answer is as easy as a lot of people think. Halftime is brought to you in part by The Fence Man. Do you need a business that owns more security or just more curb appeal? A new fence from The Fence Man can give you both. They specialize in custom installations, and they've been doing it for over 40 years. Gates, controlled access card readers. Call The Fence Man for a no-obligations quote. Give Henry a call, Fence Man Friday guy, 479-782-3936. The Fence Man, 782-3936, a division of Quantum Property Services. Aaron Torres coming up next. Stay with us.
Don't spend life sitting on your hands. You're listening to Halftime.
This is Mark Hurst. Late fall and early winter are my favorite times of the year. High school football playoffs, time spent with my sons at deer camping in the duck blind, and the holiday season begins. November and December are also great times to take advantage of any remaining dental insurance benefits before the first of the year. Give us a call today at 474-1972 and let us help you maximize your remaining insurance benefits. Or if you don't have dental insurance, ask about our dental discount plan. Hurst Family Dental Care, a name you know and a name you can trust.
Hi, I'm Serafin from La Huerta. Here we like everything caliente. We have daily, lunch, and dinner drink specials. Happy hour every day from 2 to 6. Check it out. Football and drink specials all season. Voted best of the best Mexican restaurant and best of the best margarita. We have over 15 TVs for your viewing pleasure. We have 4 locations to serve you. Open 7 days a week. La Huertas. Eat until you're hurt. In Fort Smith. La Huertas.
Thank goodness that the fall season is upon us. And with this special time of year comes football, cooler weather, changing leaves, and free internet and phone service from Pinnacle Telecom. That's right. Switch your phone and internet service over to Pinnacle Telecom and get your first month free. Take advantage of Pinnacle Telecom's fast fiber internet and or hosted telephone service, and your first month's bill is on us. So let Pinnacle Telecom make your fall even better with this one-of-a-kind first month free promotion. Pinnacle Telecom, tomorrow's technology today.
I am a veteran. I lost both legs in Vietnam.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory was getting my benefits and a good education.
DAV helps veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran. I didn't want to admit it, but I had PTSD.
So veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory was finding help and learning that I wasn't alone.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Christmas times are coming.
That special gift this year should be a room makeover from the Paint Store in Van Buren. They have packages for a kitchen, bathroom, or living room. Or why not all of them? Gift certificates can also be customized. Give your wife, family member, or great friend a super surprise gift of a room makeover this year. We can also help with recommendations for a reliable contractor. The Paint Store in Van Buren is always the place to go. Go see them today at 1414 Fayetteville Road for your room makeover gift certificate.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging, the Xerox authorized agency and dealer in the River Valley. The 29 new models of Xerox business printers and copiers represent a quantum leap forward in office technology. They are designed for the way we work today, safely and securely. They're powered by Xerox Connect Key technology. They're innovative and affordable with both black and white and color devices available. For more information, give Dixie Digital a call at 783-6600 or visit us at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing Xerox document innovations to the River Valley.
ESPN 95.3. Halftime is brought to you by 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Upgrade your evening on the Avenue. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Jones looking, steps, throws to the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas! Unbelievable!
Back on Halftime, ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com. Every Friday, we get a chance to talk to my buddy Aaron Torres, Fox Sports Radio, Kentucky Sports Radio. You can also listen to him, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. AT, what's up, buddy? How you doing on this Friday?
Man, I'll tell you this, Ty, there is so much to talk about today. Football, basketball, on the field, off the field, coaching search, suspensions. I don't even know where you want to start, but I'm ready to go wherever you want to take me, man.
All right, so one of the things we were talking about in the break, we'll start basketball search and we'll get to football since basketball kind of really kicked off this week. Cole Anthony, the son of stud Greg Anthony, in his first game drops an ACC record for North Carolina. Pretty phenomenal in his first game, man. This dude looks like he has a chance to be the National Player of the Year. I think that's an award you've divvied out to him already, isn't it?
Say that last part again, Ty?
I said that's an award that you've divvied out to him already, isn't it?
No, he was my preseason pick, but it was for a couple reasons. One, it's because he's capable of doing what we saw the other night. And let's not forget, this wasn't, opening up against UNC Greensboro or something like that. I mean, this was an ACC opponent. Notre Dame returns most of their key players from basically everybody from last year. By the way, Notre Dame recruited Cole Anthony right down to the bitter end. I can't imagine that Mike Bray slept well on Wednesday night. But, part of it, too, is that I think UNC is going to need him to play like that. I mean, people forget UNC lost their top 6 scorers off last year. They really only bring in a couple kind of low-level grad transfers, a couple B-plus, fringe top 100 recruits. And so they're going to need him to be that every night. And I think when you factor in exactly what you said, he's the son of Greg Anthony. He plays at a blue blood, and he's really, really, really good. I think all of those weighed in as to why I think he could quickly become the face of college basketball this year and why he was, in fact, my pick as National Preseason Player of the Year.
Aaron, I know there were some really good basketball games on Tuesday night, but did you get a chance at all to watch any of Arkansas Rice?
I'll tell you this, I'm disappointed that it wasn't on TV at all. I didn't get to see it. I do want to comment really quick. I'm so impressed by the fan base, and I'm not just saying it because I'm on in Fayetteville, but 17,000 fans. I saw that Arkansas announced it was the highest home opener since 1998, I think, or 1997, 20-plus years. And it speaks to something why I love coming on with you guys, why I love Arkansas fans, because you're so passionate and you care about your program. And this is part of the thing that frustrates me about football is I've never heard anyone in Arkansas proclaim that Arkansas deserves to win a national championship or they should be in Atlanta playing for the SEC title. They just want to see a quality product on the field and hopefully build towards that, don't get me wrong, but really just want to see a quality product on the field. And that's what's so disappointing about this football situation is everyone's saying, Arkansas's fan base is turned or whatever. And it's like, no. The fans just want to see a quality product, and I know we'll get to football in a minute, but it's kind of on Chad Morris. Nobody expects you to go 12-0, but you do need to show some improvement.
So one of the things that you mentioned to me in the break that you kind of wanted to talk about, I know Arkansas fans are interested, is the highest in-state player that's currently playing out-of-state at Monteverde Academy, Moses Moody, narrowed down to top 3. He's picking his school tomorrow where he's committing between Michigan, Virginia, and Arkansas. What are your thoughts on this kid, man?
Yeah, well, first of all, he's a really good player. I got a chance to see him a couple times over the summer. He has NBA potential, good athlete. I don't know that I certainly don't think he's a Cole Anthony, Tyrese Maxey day one difference maker, but I bring it up because I just think it's so fascinating and what it would mean for the program, if Eric Musselman was able to wrap him up over the course of this weekend. And I'm not claiming to have any insider knowledge on what his decision-making process is, but I obviously think, look, it's a great sign that he has decided to return to Arkansas to make the announcement. It's an exciting thing that it's open to the public. I mean, he's not doing it in front of friends and family. I mean, everybody can come down. I would think logically that would be a good sign for the Hogs. And then obviously if you can get him in with the other kid that committed a few weeks ago, I'm blanking on his name. It's just just a baseline for a really, really, really good potential recruiting class. And I know you know this better than anybody, Ty. It's a great year for in-state talent. And if Musselman can start to keep some of those guys home, I think it's a huge positive momentum step in the right direction for this entire program.
We're speaking with Aaron Torres on the Cherokee Casino Hotline. AT, let's switch it up to football. You, Feinbaum, others are kind of disappointed with the 2:30 CBS, number 2 LSU versus number 3 Alabama. Why are you guys so frustrated with this game time, man? I don't seem to mind it at all, but you and others seem to be really frustrated. It's not in prime time.
Well, listen, I'll say this. It works out well for me because I do my national radio show, Fox Sports Radio, Central Time, 10 to 1 a.m., I guess, into Sunday morning. But 10 p.m. Central Time is when I come on air. And most years, I got to try to track this game while we're talking about other games and 3 or 4 other games. So this one I get to sit on the couch and watch from home and enjoy. But I don't know, man. I guess it's become a little bit of a tradition that Alabama LSU is that 8 p.m. kickoff. It's under the lights. It's a little bit – it just feels like it's just going to be kind of – I don't know. I don't want to say it's going to be not as big. Obviously, we know the president will potentially be there. We know it's 2 versus 3 or whatever it ended up being, 1 versus 2 in one of the polls. I'm a little bit disappointed, but I'll tell you, you're right, Ty. At the end of the day, it's still going to be a great matchup. It's still going to be a fun game. And if it is played at 3:30 Eastern time, hey, it actually works out better for me.
So one of the interesting storylines that has come out the last few hours is there is reported interest that Deion Sanders could be the next head coach at Florida State. I mean, we talked about being topsy-turvy, this potential coaching search, but my goodness, AT, Deion Sanders he's never been a head coach before. Could you see that actually coming to fruition, Deion to Florida State?
Well, I'll just say this in the broader picture. I think Florida State's going to struggle to fill this job, and I'll tell you why. The AD, and by the way, I think part of this is why Willie Taggart doesn't have a job, is because the AD does not have a background in athletics. I think he I don't want to say cowered to the boosters, but he said publicly that he doesn't expect to have the job in a year from now, and that the school president is getting set to retire. And so, you know this, Ty, you've been covering this stuff long enough. When the AD isn't going to be there and the school president is going to be there, it's hard to fill the job. And I'd add this, too, really quick, is that the AD has said that they want to fill the job by the end of November so that the new head coach can get a start on recruiting. Well, if you're going to fill it in November, nobody's leaving a team mid-season to come to Florida State. So maybe that knocks out a Mark Stoops type at Kentucky, who was obviously the former defensive coordinator at Florida State. So the reason I bring all that up, that is a long-winded way of me saying, if it's really hard to get a guy because you want a guy in place in November, and oh, by the way, also because of the fact that the AD isn't going to be there, all of a sudden, maybe Deion Sanders really is in the mix, because I don't know who is going to take the job under the parameters that are currently in place. Obviously, look, there's a lot to be said. Frankly, I saw my buddy Doug Gottlieb just brought this up, is that I don't even know if Deion Sanders completed his degree. You need a degree to be a Division I head coach. So there's a lot of things behind the scenes that I just don't know enough about. But when you start knocking off candidates based on the things that Florida has said, I think Deion Sanders might end up being a little bit more of a legit candidate than maybe people are thinking about.
All right, Aaron, last question on this, 30 seconds or less. Chase Young will not be playing against Maryland. Something to do reportedly with him borrowing money from a family friend this past year. Should Ohio State be concerned about this at all?
Really quick, if everything I read is what it is and he repaid the loan, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't even be surprised if somehow they get clearance to play him by tomorrow. I don't think it'll happen, but it wouldn't totally shock me. I think the bigger question is it's going to just be another black eye for the NCAA, more bad press. And by the way, if you have to sit him out a game or two, then I think it becomes the whole, do you just shut it down for the season thing? I don't know. There's so many layers, Ty. I would say I think as of right now, I don't think Ohio State fans have to worry. I would expect him to be on the field no later than Rutgers next week. If not, like I said, I wouldn't be totally stunned if they figure out a way to get him cleared for tomorrow.
Aaron Torres, Fox Sports Radio, Kentucky Sports Radio. You can listen to his podcast, the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast, on a number of different platforms. AT, as always, we appreciate you coming on this Friday.
All right. Thank you, brother. Have a good day, Ty.
Hey, you too. All right, Saturday morning is fastly approaching, and there is only one beer officially of Saturday mornings, and that's Coors Light. It doesn't get colder than this. Cold lager, cold filtered, cold package, always cold at its peak of freshness. It's a cold activated can, so when the mountains turn blue, you know your beer is as cold as the Rockies. And when the mountains turn blue, you always go for two. Coors Light, made to chill. All right, tying up the first hour on halftime next. ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com.
When in doubt, expense it. You're listening to Halftime.
Is your home at least 10 years old and served by OG&E? OG&E is offering Arkansas customers a free weatherization program to increase your comfort and lower your bills. A trained crew will perform an energy audit at no cost to you, and if your home qualifies, our crews will install measures that will save you money. The services provided through this program are absolutely free to qualifying homes. If you could benefit from free home weatherization improvements, call OG&E at 1-800-272-9741. That's 1-800-272-9741.
Do you hear that Coors Light being poured? It's the perfect temperature. How can I tell just based on the sound? I can't. But I can see that the mountain on the can is blue. And when the mountain is blue, your Coors Light is perfectly cold. Coors Light is cold lagered for a crisper taste, cold filtered for brightness and clarity, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. Doesn't that sound good? 2019 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is the only place to watch the Hogs. Watch every game at Joe's. Enjoy half-price apps and taps during the game. And with TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat. Half-price appetizers like brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, 10-layer dip, or Joe's humongous sampler platter. All half-price. And all beers on tap are half-price. Watch every Hog game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
Want to have more than your average home? D&D Flooring is a simple choice. You can choose to have excellent customer service and design assistance with D&D Flooring. Wood, vinyl, carpet, to beautiful window treatments, professional installation every time. Zero financing options available. Come see D&D Flooring large showroom and selections. D&D Flooring, serving the River Valley and surrounding areas. 1323 Main Street, Van Buren, or call 474-0533.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
Look your best with Perfecto Cleaners at the bottom of Fiena Hills. Count on same-day service, easy drive-through covered drop-off and pickup window, and fast turnaround on alterations. Perfecto Cleaners always goes the extra mile to ensure your clothes look their best, making you look your best. Be sure to clip their coupons in the yellow pages, and as always, in by 9 and out by 5 Monday through Friday. Perfecto Cleaners, just off Jenny Lind at the bottom of Fiena Hills. Perfecto Cleaners, making you look your best.
Know where you can find all your favorite Skechers shoes in one place? Skechers.com. Because at Skechers.com, we have miles and miles of styles of the most comfortable shoes on the planet. We have boys and girls shoes that sparkle and light up. Skechers.com has work shoes, slip-ons, sports shoes, casual shoes, canvas shoes, go walk, go run. The styles are endless. And on Skechers.com, you can find all the fits you need. Plus, so many shoes with Skechers exclusive air-cooled memory foam. So find all the styles, all the fits, and all the comfort. Only at Skechers.com.
You have to be up in 5 hours, 2 hours, 6 minutes. And when you hear, you realize that you haven't slept a wink. That's why there's ZzzQuil Pure Z's, a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin, so you can fall asleep naturally with no next-day grogginess. It's available in both liquid and gummies, tastes great, and is non-habit forming. Pick up ZzzQuil Pure Z's from the sleep experts at Vicks ZzzQuil. ZzzQuil Pure Z's, naturally superior sleep. Available at retailers near you.
ESPN 95.3. Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts, we're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Adams with it at the 45. Adams skipping. Adams gets outside. Watch out. Hits the sideline. The Jet. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Last segment, hour number 1 on Halftime. ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com. Phil Elson set to join us in about 15 minutes or so. He's going to conclude his interview with Mike Neighbors. I'm just assuming they won. I haven't got any update on if the Arkansas women's basketball team won. I'm assuming they won, coming in AP preseason ranked number 22, so I'm thinking they got a dub today. Let's go back to some text here on the Cherokee Casino hotline. Jeremiah in Cedarville says Arkansas wins 27-24. He says, I don't think that Ty Story will get to stay in the pocket that much. Ross in Paris texts in. He says 32-17 Western Kentucky, and Morris gets fired on Sunday. So an interesting prediction from Ross in Paris. Drew and Harrison says, I think it's going to be tough to choose if John Stephen Jones plays most of the way, 24-14. If KJ gets a shot, I say we have a little more and get 31-17. So I think a lot more people are confident with KJ Jefferson getting more playing time. And that's actually a segment in a bit that I want to get to in hour number 2. How does John Stephen Jones handle the pressure tomorrow in his first start? And I get it's Western Kentucky, it's at home, but his grandfather, as he mentioned, is going to be there for his first warm-up throw. We all know who Jerry Jones is and what kind of crowd, what type of pressure he brings. I mean, being the grandson of Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, a former Razorback who loves the Hogs as much as he does, very intrigued by that. Let's see. Who's ready for story time, children, is what Justin and Van Buren texted in on the Cherokee Casino hotline. Jeff from Greenwood says 38-27 Western Kentucky. Saturday could be an all-timer for Arkansas athletics. William in Jonesboro asked the question, do you think if Ty Story comes in and leads Western Kentucky to win over Arkansas, that Chad Morris will be the coach come Sunday morning? Just an honest opinion. I know you're not going to flat out say the coach needs to be fired. He also assumes that Arkansas is going to win, Western Kentucky is going to win 44-38. So Phil has said on this radio show, and we'll rehash this a little bit, that he thinks if Arkansas loses to Western Kentucky, that Chad Morris is going to lose his job. I know we've had several people call in, text in with that same mindset. If you're Hunter Yurchek and this board of trustees and the Arkansas Foundation, I just don't know how you can keep him, right? Like, what has he shown you to this point? I mentioned the 4 potential losses: Colorado State, North Texas, San Jose State, and Western Kentucky. That's within 2 years, folks. How can you build on that at Arkansas when you should never, ever even be in the running against those football teams? You should be blasting them, crushing them, melting them, making them suffer on the football field. And yet, you're looking at the possibility of losing to the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers come soon. This is not Bobby Petrino's Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. This is not Jeff Brom's Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. I can't even tell you the head coach of Western Kentucky. Maybe that's not me not doing my homework as much as I should. But this is not even a notable guy, I think. Or I don't think. I could be wrong on that, but that's just my opinion there. Rick and Murphy text in on the Cherokee Casino hotline. He says, Ty, remember the same is true for Story's familiarity with our defense. He's seen it just as much that they've seen him. Rick, you bring up a good point. I was giving the Arkansas defense more of the fact that they know Ty Story, but Ty has that opposite effect as well, where he knows a lot of the defensive players' tendencies this upcoming year. Crazy Hog text in 34-20 Western Kentucky. Aaron in Clarksville says he will lose all 3 remaining games, just like Brett. Chad will be fired coming off the field after the Missouri loss. I was talking with Tommy about this earlier this week. Arkansas got a lot of pushback for the way they fired Brett Bielema coming off the tarmac, and we've joked about this being a tarmac game for Chad Morris. I don't know if you're going to see that type of firing again. And when it comes to handling those type of situations, that was not looked upon friendly. And you got to remember, I know a lot of you are very angry with Chad Morris right now, and rightfully so. The football team not doing what they should have done this year, which is win more football games. And again, we weren't asking for a bowl victory, 7-6 in year 2, but 5-7 was a respectable ask. You got to remember that you're now not paying a buyout for Brett Bielema, reportedly. That's going to court. We know that. And how you handle this Chad Morris situation, if you truly want to get this program back, coaches can't be scared coming to work for the University of Arkansas. This needs to be a destination spot, which, quite frankly, it's not. It's not right now. It's not at all. That's just how you look at it. And you may say, well, what about the guys that want to be here? What about the coaches with Arkansas in their blood? Folks, that's not many. I know Mike Norvell, I think his wife went to UCA, or he coached, or he graduated at UCA, and I think his wife went there. Obviously, there's like the Jimmy Johnson connection, the Barry Switzer connection, but like those guys are over the hill. They're not coaching anytime soon. There are very few candidates with the idea of Arkansas being injected in their blood. Like that just, you seldom see that anymore. And I reminded people last week, I think, and I'll remind people again, Frank Broyles went to Georgia Tech and played for Bobby Dodd. He didn't go to Arkansas. The idea that this Arkansas mentality, this Arkansas mindset, this Arkansas pageantry, sometimes it just grows on people. This is an example I used before, and I'll use it again. David Basil in Little Rock is the perfect prime example of that. I think David's from Florida. I forget what part of Florida. Comes in and now is just celebrated as this massive Arkansan, even though he's not from here. That doesn't necessarily matter. You just want a guy that knows how to coach football and that ends up liking Arkansas, which we saw from Bobby Petrino earlier this year. He enjoyed his time at Arkansas. Now he screwed it up, almost got the university sued, but he liked it. Houston Dale Nutt loved his time coaching Arkansas. Little Rock guy. Loved going to Little Rock. You put the Razorback on your jersey. But again, with some of these potential coaching candidates that you could be facing if something were to happen at the end of the season, I always have to stress that because people just assume that Chad Morris is going to be fired. There's just not a massive amount of people that know the tradition, know the rich history, or even want to embrace that at Arkansas. Like I said, like Phil said, Phil coined this first, and I'll follow him with it. You're screwed right now as an Arkansas football. Something massive has to change for this football program. Something massive. All right, 877-377-6963. Let's go to the Cherokee Casino hotline. Who we got on the hotline, y'all? Hello, who's this?
It's Eddie from Clarksville.
Eddie, what's up, my man? How are you?
How are you, sir?
Man, Eddie, I am okay. Well, we got a big game tomorrow. Arkansas, Western Kentucky. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, sir, win or lose this game, I hope that our program and our players realize the importance of the game. At least you can say you beat a team you're supposed to beat, and I hope that takes place. But I'm kind of mixed. I always liked Ty's story, And I thought, you know, at the point of the season where we're at right now, you know, maybe just like I thought maybe Jefferson. What if we just started? Imagine if we would have started Jefferson, maybe we would have had 5 or 6 wins. And certainly there are a lot of disappointed fans in this program, and they have a right to be. But I know you don't take other calls. I just want to leave you with this thought. I was looking up qualities of a good leader. And one of the main qualities of a good leader, it says managerial competence, being able to direct others, motivate them, direct them in a positive manner, inspire them, motivate them. And just because you can recruit doesn't make necessarily you can have these qualities. And so I think that's the number one thing lacking in Coach Morris, is being able to motivate this team, being able to direct them and make the decision necessary in a game setting to get a win. And that's no shame on him. Not a lot of people cannot take over a program that's not prepared to do it. And so that's how I see it. And you might have a different perspective, but I mean, look at the results on the field.
Eddie, I think you're sorry, man. I had to cut you off because we're coming up on a break. Eddie, I think you're exactly right. If there had been something in these past games that you could point to that say that's going to happen, this is why he deserves to keep going, that's fair assumption. And I think that's a fair point that you're making. But there hasn't been anything at Arkansas. And again, we have to tie this in. You can't keep going back to Clemson. You can't go back to SMU. You have to say at Arkansas. One of the things I always tell people about Tommy Kraft, who's my boss, is we don't agree on everything. I'm 24, he's 43. We don't see eye to eye on everything. But, and the key but here, is that I always trust his judgment. Can you say the same about Chad Morris? And I know the complexities of sports radio and football are vastly different, and a lot of us watching the game don't understand the complexities compared to Chad Morris. That's fair. He's a football coach. That's fine. But the ideology needs to be similar. You need to be able to trust Chad Morris that he's going to get it done, that he's going to win football games. And right now you don't have that. I have that trust in Tommy. As a fan base, you don't have that trust in Chad Morris. All right, hour number 2 coming up. I don't know if Phil's going to join me next segment. Hopefully we'll get him on, if not 15 minutes or so. A lot coming up here on Halftime.
Great camping weather is just around the corner, so at Breeden RV in Van Buren, we're having our year-end clearance sale right now. Get great deals on new RVs like travel trailers that start at $99.95 and fifth wheels starting under $30,000. Breeden RV is the only dealer that gives our new customers maintenance for life for free. We also have a great selection of pre-camp trailers and RVs to choose from. Now is the time to camp, and now is the time to let Breeden RV in Van Buren show you just how easy it can be. Breeden RV, your home for maintenance for life.
Oh, that's an RV.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands like Michelin and B.F. Goodrich. Take advantage of our $29.95 oil change, which includes a 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality Michelin and B.F. Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, B.F. Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
Barley is the soul of Budweiser. That's why we've been working with the same family-owned American farms for more than 50 years to harvest it. The secrets to growing this grain perfectly have been passed down through 3 generations. For them, it's a legacy. And it's why only the best barley and locally sourced ingredients are used to make Budweiser. Budweiser is proudly raised across America. This Bud's from our barley farmers. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative is excited to introduce Wave Rural Connect, bringing state-of-the-art fiber internet, TV, and phone services right into the homes of all their members. Get amazing fast fiber internet 100 megabits for only $49.95 per month, or 1 gigabit for $79.95 per month. Go to waveruralconnect.com to find out where they're installing in your area, or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the Chicken Pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
A decrease in the clouds, and here comes those colder temperatures galloping in on northerly winds, mid-20s north, low 30s south. Sunny and a colder day, mid to upper 40s, and Saturday won't be as cold with highs in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Good station. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Busch and Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas! I love everything here! Give me that thing here! Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Phil, you're one of the best baseball announcers in the country, and Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
See ya, D-Mac. Hold on, Matt Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown. How about that Heisman, Mark Jones? How do you like it? Wide open again.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Well, all right. We're about to get rolling here for a second hour of halftime. Welcome back. Well, welcome back. I haven't even been part of the show for the first hour. Who am I to welcome back people I haven't been part of this thing for the first hour?
What's up,
Ty,
buddy?
you need to be welcoming me in instead of me welcoming anybody else in. This is my
Oh.
first time on the show today.
We're glad to have you, dude. I can hear the screams of the kiddos in the background.
Well, what you hear is a movie on the Bud Walton Arena video board. The screaming kids are pretty much all gone, save for like maybe 3 or 4 schools that are still waiting for either the buses to arrive or just to be told, yes, the traffic is no longer bad and you can head elsewhere. So, yeah, they had like what was the attendance here? 6,801. Wow. I would say 6,000 of them were screaming kids. There were teachers. I counted 3 or 4 teachers that had earplugs in because they knew what to expect. It's a good thing I had these cans on my head. Otherwise, I might have gone deaf. It was a nice performance, too. Great start to the women's basketball season in Mike Neighbors' third year. 82-52, they beat New Orleans to begin the season. Chelsea Dungy scored 22 points. 21st game of her career with 20 or more points. And a single-game record for rebounds was set in school history. Taylor Thomas pulled down 21 rebounds and had her first double-double. So all in all, they played with energy, played fantastic defensively, and offensively had some peaks and valleys, but I guess you'd expect that for the first game of the season. But, hey, 30-point win, game 1. Nice way to start it, and now you look for game 2 on Monday against McNeese. And I'm also proud to say, Ty, I didn't forget how to call a basketball game. I'm a little bit nervous about that. It had been a while since March, so I guess it's a little bit like riding a bicycle.
Phil, why does it feel like that everything in Arkansas football is going well right now for the Razorback? I mean, like, think about it. Arkansas soccer, they beat Florida 3-1 last night in the semis. They're going to their 4th straight SEC championship game. They'll face off against South Carolina. Hunter Henry, he scored Thursday Night Football, so that's a pro hog doing something.
Brandon Allen got a victory in his first game.
Got a victory, but it's just Arkansas football. It's just so frustrating. I mean, the Arkansas women's basketball team, they come in preseason ranked 22nd in the AP poll, first time since early 2000s.
Baseball is baseball. But speaking of baseball, Wes Johnson was in attendance today. He was ushering school kids. The Minnesota Twins pitching coach was ushering school kids. His wife and daughter still they haven't moved to Minneapolis, if that's their plan. So I didn't get a chance to see him. But, yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. This is something I think – Did we get into this earlier in the week?
I think you brought it up, yeah.
One of the things that I just hate about what's happening with football right now is it just reflects so negatively on every other aspect of athletics at the university, and it doesn't have to. It really doesn't have to. If you were to hear if you've heard this show all week and last week as well, the complaints about football and some people not happy with Hunter Yurachek for whatever reason, I can't figure out why, you would think that the entire athletic department is in shambles, and it's just not the case. In fact, I think you could make a case that other than football, this entire athletic department has never really been in a better position. Maybe men's basketball isn't really where you want it to be yet, but everybody seems to be in agreement that you got the right coach in place. I guess it makes sense because football projects so much more or so heavier and so much farther across the country than any other sport. But it's just an unfortunate happenstance that the projection of Arkansas football makes it seem like athletics is a joke for the Razorbacks, when the truth is football is a joke at Arkansas. Everything else is doing just fine. Thank you very much.
J.W. Guthrie texting on the Cherokee Casino hotline, and he texted him before the show started. I'm just now getting to it. He says, Ty, what kind of a poetic justice might be served if Ty Storey drives the final nail in the coffin after he was being encouraged to look elsewhere? Again, we don't know the full story on that. Chad said he tried to keep him. We don't 100% know that, but that would just be the perfect symbolization of where this football team is right now, Phil, that a former quarterback who wasn't necessarily regarded as the best quarterback on that they've had in quite some time, all of a sudden he comes back, lights Arkansas up, puts up Heisman-type numbers, and potentially could end the career of one Chad Morris. That's where you are as a football program right now. And it's not like that in any other sport, like you mentioned. Baseball team's good, women's basketball good. People are excited about men's basketball, softball team, everything else. Soccer is going great, except for the main moneymaker, which is Arkansas football.
I mean, yeah, poetic is the way to put it. I don't know if justice would be the right word, but it would definitely be poetic. So I mean, the other part about this is you kind of expect, you know what you get with Ty Storey. A guy who's been very accurate this year. Not great arm strength. He's slippery in the pocket, can run, and, of course, gritty and tough and, tough as nails and all those things that I think a lot of people know about. What about John Stephen Jones? What is he? Because, the word that I've always heard about him is that he's a great competitor. That's what happened for him in high school. We haven't really had a chance to see him compete on a full game basis or even anything more than, just like a couple of drives. So, and the other thing about John Stephen Jones is he still is not like the fans' choice for who they would want to see start this weekend against Western Kentucky. I don't know what sort of percentage I would put on it, but there are more people that are in the KJ Jefferson should start camp than the John Stephen Jones camp. So, I mean, he's got some doubters that are they're not going to root against him this Saturday, or maybe they are. I think there are some fans that are going to be rooting for Ty Storey over anything else. But this is where next year's quarterback competition begins. If you remove Chandler Morris from it and remove Nick Starkel from it, this is where next year's quarterback competition begins. So can John Stephen Jones show anything to stay on the field for the entire game? KJ is going to play. I guess the question would be, can Jones earn himself another start the week after against LSU?
And from everything we've seen this season, it seems like the backup has had a more productive game than the starter. So you would just assume, based on the evidence so far in 2019, that KJ is going to come in and outplay John Stephen Jones. We'll see what actually happens tomorrow, but the leash. We know that KJ is going to get some packages early, and it's not going to be one of those things where it's just John Stephen Jones gets 3 series. If he does well, he'll stay in quarterback. KJ is going to be featured. As long as John Stephen Jones can move the ball, he's going to be featured in some John Stephen Jones drives. So I'm just wondering how Chad Morris and Joe Craddock are going to play this situation tomorrow. And I know that, and I don't know if Chandler was at Highland Park when he was, because he would have been, let's see, when John Stephen Jones was a junior, and a senior. Chandler would have been a freshman and sophomore. So I'm wondering if he pushed John Stephen Jones for that starting job back at Highland Park, or if he just had that lacked up, because I don't know if he's really faced this type of pressure since high school, right? I mean, and it's amplified so much more. So
it really is. I mean, now you're going out there trying to get, end a lengthy losing streak, which is now at 6 games, and do something which a lot of people think that Chad Morris is coaching for his job on Saturday. I happen to think that he's coaching for next week's job on Saturday, because if you lose to Western Kentucky, all bets are off. Whatever happens at the end of the month happens at the end of the month. But what you're thinking may happen at the end of the month, meaning ball game over, that could be this Saturday. That could be tomorrow if Arkansas ends up with a loss. And quarterback play has been at the top of the list, along with defensive line play and poor tackling is the reason that Arkansas right now is in the position that they are in. So, at this point, the defense is what it is. Your tackling is what it is. I don't know if that's going to change very much. Your quarterback play can change pretty heavily over the next few weeks, and it's going to have to. Absolutely going to have to. Halftime brought to you by Breeden RV and Power Sports in Van Buren. It's freezing cold right now, but it's also good camping weather. And you get great deals on new RVs with the year-end clearance sale continuing. Travel trailers starting at $99.95, fifth wheels under $30,000. And all new customers at Breeden get maintenance for life for free, plus a great selection of pre-camp trailers and RVs to choose from. That's Breeden RV and Power Sports in Van Buren. Go to BreedenRVs.com for more information. Be a part of the last hour here on Halftime for the Week. The Cherokee Casino hotline is open for a call or a text. 877-377-6963. I'm here at Bud Walton Arena, Ty's in the ESPN Arkansas studios, and we will be right back after the break.
When in doubt, expense it. You're listening to Halftime. This is the Morning Rush.
The lines are getting ridiculous in the bathroom. And, people who don't want to spend money on water, they go in and refill their cups inside of the sink. And it's tap water.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help out the people out there.
I'm not refilling my water bottle in the bathroom sink at the stadium. I'm sorry. No.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Full-time farmers, hobby farmers, and landowners, your time is important. Make the most out of that time with a brand new Branson tractor from Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith. With tractors from 19 to 105 horsepower, we have a tractor that will fit your needs. Ask Bush Machine and Tractor about their special financing options and free loader rebates. Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith is Arkansas's #1 Branson dealer. Check their inventory at bushtractor.com.
Back again with our good friends at World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH, your last weekend to get the $200 Visa gift card when you make the move to DISH for this weekend, and you get a 2-year price guarantee.
Yeah, call WOW now, 877-305-DISH. Make the move to DISH, new activation. This is the last weekend to take advantage of the $200 Visa gift card offer from World of Wireless and the $99 tailgater with new activation.
Plus, you get whole home DVR, HD in every room, local installation, and it can all be done before this weekend's up.
That's right, local and free installation. And remember, you can take advantage of the $99, less than $100 for the portable tailgater that you can use anywhere. Take it to Deer Camp this weekend.
All right, call WOW now, 877-305-DISH. Get all these free extras Ben is telling you about, but the offer ends before the weekend's up, so you need to call WOW now. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for World of Wireless, your local DISH dealer. Eagle Crest Golf Course is open, and winter rates are now in effect. Just $35 to enjoy Eagle Crest Golf Course, card included. Winter rates are back, and Eagle Crest is ready for you. Lush zoysia fairways, beautiful bent grass greens, and the best views in the River Valley. Just $35, card included. So get your golf buddies together and head to Eagle Crest Golf Course. Winter rates just $35. Eagle Crest Golf Course, Highway 64, just east of Alma.
Looking for a bit of cowboy flavor
flavor? Introducing Hardee's Southwest Patty Melt. A hearty sandwich with all the taste of the great American Southwest. We're talking a hotter, juicier, thick burger made with 100% black Angus beef, pepper jack cheese, zesty Santa Fe sauce, and enough pickled jalapenos to give it a kick. If it got any more authentic, we'd have to serve it with a cactus and a side of tumbleweeds. The Southwest Patty Melt. Now at Hardee's. Available for a limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's. Hotter and juicier beef patty as compared to the Hardee's original beef patty.
The largest sporting event in the state of Arkansas will happen Saturday, November 9th, and it's not college football. Angelco Outdoors is getting you ready for opening day of Modern Gun Deer Season, a tradition like none other. Mossy Oak Blaze Vest, only $2.99. Pursuit Gear Camo Insulated Jacket or Bib, $49.99. Dry Shot TVD Camo Insulated Rubber Boots, only $119.99. River's Edge Grip Sticks, $14.99. Good luck and safe hunting. And remember, a great hunt begins at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative is excited to introduce Wave Rural Connect. They're bringing state-of-the-art high-speed fiber internet plus TV and phone services right into the homes of all members. If you're an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
ESPN 95.3. Touchdown! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Lou Holtz, Mark May, number 5. You better look at him a little closer. He's a football player. Got that wood right here.
877-377-6963 to be a part of Halftime on this frigid Friday. When I got out where I was staying over the last few days, Ty, this morning, this was the first day I had to start the car before getting into it. You know, that's like breaking the seal when you start the car remotely, so that your butt cheeks don't freeze when you hit the leather seats. Yes, it's almost like winter has now begun.
So it's supposed to snow in northwest Arkansas on Monday, apparently.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Supposed to be here Monday night for a basketball game. I guess I'm going to have to leave a little earlier than I planned.
See, I was thinking about my Tuesday night, Thursday night. Does men's basketball, they play Tuesday and Saturday, or is it Tuesday and Thursday?
I don't know. I know they played Tuesday against North Texas. I don't have the schedule in front of me.
Played North Texas, and it's they either play Tuesday night, Thursday night, or Saturday. So I'm going to have to be careful about some of these games that I try and drive up to, because I could get snowed in after the game and not get back to Fort Smith. So I just need to be aware of the weather that is hitting up there in northwest Arkansas and down here in the River Valley, because the last thing I need is Tommy Kraft to be chewing me out over the phone the fact that I can't get back to work. That would not be a conversation that I would want to have with Tommy.
That wouldn't be very good at all. And by the way, it's Tuesday against North Texas, Saturday against the Grizzlies of Montana for the off day for football, so you'll have a basketball game instead. So Tuesday, Saturday next week, men's basketball. The women play 3 times next week. Play Monday, McNeese, Wednesday, Oral Roberts, and then 3 days after that against Stony Brook. So it's going to be pretty busy week for round ball here at Arkansas with how to put this, thankfully an off week for football next week. So and it'll be, the next week could be very interesting, very interesting. You and me, Ty, have the real interesting assignment tomorrow with Tommy and John doing Arkansas Game Day at 6 in the morning. Thanks, guys, for doing, what do they call it, Morning Rush Light for Saturday, doing the 6 to 8 Arkansas Game Day before the Learfield IMG pregame. You and me are on Hog Reaction, which I'm assuming will get underway close to 3:30. Who knows what we're going to be talking about? I know we'll talk about the game, the win and the loss, what it all matters. Will you be talking about a coaching change if things go way south? Which, to be quite honest, I think there are a lot of people who expect a Western Kentucky victory. And I'm still sitting on the fence. I don't really know what to pick, but you know how I've said this the last couple of weeks. I will really have a difficult time picking Arkansas to win any game until they actually do win one.
And that's fair. Got a text in here, Phil, on the Cherokee Casino hotline out of the 479. Folks, remember, if you text us in and you haven't texted us your name and location before, make sure to do that. The question is, do you think due to John Stephen Jones' small size, this will create an issue with him moving the ball in general, playing against larger, more experienced players? It's hard to imagine a guy his size not getting passes batted away by bigger SEC linemen. Do you think he will start after the Western Kentucky game? Phil, I've laid out my theory before. I think John Stephen Jones is going to struggle in this football game. KJ's going to come play in, outplay him, and then start against LSU, unfortunately, because that's going to cripple his confidence. His first start playing in Death Valley. What are your thoughts on that?
I got to, for one thing, for John Stephen Jones with his size, what is he, 5'? Is he 5'10"?
No, he's
shorter than that.
Yeah, he's like
So, I mean, you've got two quarterbacks that supposedly have not the same skill set, but kind of do a little bit of the same things, can run RPO, and I haven't watched KJ Jefferson run enough, but with his size, what is he, 230 pounds? It feels like he's more than twice the size.
He looks like remember when we made comments last year, Reggie Channing as a freshman, he didn't look like a college athlete. Like a high school athlete. He looked built. He looked like he was ready to play college football or just college basketball. The same can be said about KJ Jefferson. He looks the part. Now, is he the part? We don't know that yet, but he at least looks the part walking out of the bus, Phil.
And to this text from the 479, to get to the point of batting passes away, Arkansas already has had issues with passes being batted down. I think that they've had more. They're in the top 10, I think, in the country in passes that have been batted down, and that's with 6'4" Nick Starkel. And what is Hicks? Is he like 6'2"?
Yeah, 6'1", 6'2".
And a lot of that goes to the struggles of the offensive linemen of not being able to hold blocks, not being able to do something to keep the defensive linemen's arms down and engage them a little bit better. But if you've got a 5'8" quarterback there, it gets just a little bit tougher because those passing lanes really haven't been there very much. And so yes, there could be more passes batted down. And then the thought of a running quarterback, an RPO quarterback of that size, yes, I think there could be an issue with that. But I mean, both of these guys, both KJ and John Stephen Jones, I think when they do get out there, you're going to see plenty of running.
Cody in Mountain Home texted in on the Cherokee Casino hotline. He says, not to mention our O-line has deteriorated. That's a good point. You look at what has happened with the offensive line, Phil. I mean, injury upon injury. Capps is back. I think he was out 2 weeks with that concussion. But you lost Colton Jackson. He's retired from football. Had a couple other injuries that have affected the team this year. So we knew this offensive line wasn't going to be the stronghold of this football team. But because of the injuries, because of Colton Jackson retiring, it's been worse than we thought. Is that fair to say that this has been worse? This offensive line has been worse. I will say this: I think it's been the last 2 games that they haven't allowed a sack. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I'm kind of up in the air on if this offensive line has been worse or about the same that we thought they were going to be coming into the season.
Let me see if I can go back and look at the number of sacks that they've allowed game by game here. Here we go. 2 games in a row, no sacks allowed, nor any sacks for Arkansas's defense either. So 6 1/2 dozen the other, but 13 sacks for Arkansas defensively, 18 sacks allowed this year. So now who knows what will happen against Western Kentucky. But one thing's for certain, the whole idea of like letting go of the rope, this happened last year after the loss to LSU, when then in back-to-back weeks you got blown out by a good Mississippi State team and a mediocre Missouri team.
Yeah.
Now you've been blown out by an Auburn team that has a top-notch defense with a so-so offense, and it still blows me away that Auburn was able to put up 51 points against Arkansas. Alabama being Alabama, 48-7, that's expected. But to lose by 30 to Mississippi State, there's the thought to me. Now, I remember going into this gauntlet of these last 3 games, in which the previous 3, you'd had chances to win and should have beaten San Jose State, maybe should have beaten Texas A&M, and probably should have beaten Kentucky. So then you get blown out 3 weeks in a row, and it just felt like that was the time that if if the effort wasn't there, if you're getting knocked off the ball, if you're struggling to get any kind of offensive rhythm going, that the rope will be let go. Ty, I think the rope's already gone. And I know that tomorrow, part of tomorrow is all about the seniors that are playing their last game at Reynolds Razorback Stadium, and I wonder, how they feel about this situation, because most of them were brought in by the previous coaching staff. What are you playing for at this point? Are they playing to keep for Chad Morris to keep his job? I would say that's doubtful. If they're playing hard for any reason, it's for personal pride, or in the case of a McTelvin Agim, to make sure that the NFL scouts know that you're going to go all out when you're given the opportunity to play on Sundays. But to be quite honest, when it comes to the idea of giving your best effort for your coaches, I think that ball left the court a long time ago. I think this game of tug of war isn't a game anymore. It's one-sided. The rope has been let go.
Got two great texts here on the Cherokee Casino hotline that I think kind of tie into what you're saying. First is from Chad in Paris. He asked the question, does anyone else feel like the Razorbacks are now the third best team in the state, college football team, and I'm assuming he's referring to UCA and Arkansas State, who, by the way, I brought this up earlier, UCA beat Western Kentucky on the road.
They did. That was the first week of the season.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget to add in the Division II schools like Ouachita's ranked, Harding is ranked, my old Henderson State Reddies are ranked. So let's heap on the rest of the GAC. Let's say Arkansas is the seventh best team in the state.
Gary in Fort Smith asked the question. He's concerned about the Razorbacks losing some of their best players, KJ, Knox, Burks, and that's where you are as a football program right now. It's laughable because this would have never happened if Frank Broyles was still with us today.
Well,
if he was with here, just hold me. And I thought Wally actually wrote a really good article in Whole Hog earlier this week, just talking about like Frank would have just not let this happen. Now it might have not always been hunky dory, and it wasn't under Frank. Let's make no bones about that. But to stoop this low where you are right now, to have fans questioning us if some of the best players on the roster are going to leave because of how bad the football team is. Phil, you're at an unprecedented time in this program. I've only been alive for 24 years, easily the worst part of this football program. I've had people tell me that are 80-some-odd years old that said this is by far, in a way, the worst set of years that they have ever experienced in Arkansas football. And how long can you be on this line without staying here for eternity? Like that's a bad question to ask, but it's one of those things where like, can you ever recover if this team continues to be where they are?
Well, and I read the column that you're talking about with Wally, and it was, I understand, reaching back to previous years and the good days, the great days under Frank Broyles. It's I don't know. I think reaching back to Frank would have never allowed this to happen is a little bit much. This wouldn't have happened under Houston Nutt. As bad as things got his last year, it would have never gotten like it is right now. It's because he's a good football coach. It's because he knows how to coach the game. I don't know. There's something about the way the game has been coached this year that makes you scratch your head and question things just a little bit more. 877-377-6963 is the Cherokee Casino hotline. We want your calls and your texts. We'll be right back after the break.
Good coaches win. Great coaches cover. This is Halftime.
It's football season and the right play is at Hertz Car Sales, 2810 Midland Boulevard. Their business is quality used cars at a great price with their #1 goal of passing the savings on to you. The latest makes and models, low mileage vehicles with an overall experience that can't be matched. Make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard today and find that there's no better way to buy your next vehicle. Call them today at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromhertz.com. Hertz Car Sales. What are you waiting for?
Make a hot spring spa part of your day-to-day routine now and discover what it means to get more out of each day. Hi, Tommy Kraft for our good friends at Burton Pools and Spas. In Fort Smith and in Springdale, Burton's is having an instant rebate event where you get $1,000 in instant rebate with the purchase of select hot springs models. Burton Pools and Spas is at 6121 Zero Street in Fort Smith. and 725 South 48th Street in Springdale. Just imagine being able to come home from a hard day at work and to slip into your own hot spring spa from Burton Pools and Spas and let the stress of everyday life just slip away. And you're going to be totally impressed with all the features and options that are available on a hot spring spa. See it for yourself in Fort Smith or in Springdale and find out more about how you can get a $1,000 instant rebate with a purchase of a select hot spring spa today. That's Burton Pools and Spas in Fort Smith and in Springdale, or find out more online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
Come taste the difference at Reed's Hometown Barbecue in Booneville. Brisket, pork, chicken, and baby back ribs are hand-selected, liberally seasoned with a homemade rub and slow smoked over hickory, oak, and pecan, giving our meat a unique and original smoke flavor. Here's what people are saying. Best barbecue in the state. Awesome atmosphere. Hands down the best barbecue around. Great service. I traveled from Fayetteville and will again. It's that good. Reed's Hometown Barbecue in Booneville. Open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 11 till 9.
Spring is in the air. Not in the house, Dalton. Okay, AJ. Aw, snap, I told you not in the house. Red Kool-Aid all over the white carpet. Mom and Dad are gonna... It's okay, AJ. I can't believe it. We're so in trouble. I told you so.
Thank you for calling Service Master Clean. This is Tanya. How can I help you?
Tanya, it's Dalton. For the clean you expect and the service you deserve. Think Service Master Clean. Visit us online at smcleanonline.com.
Got a mystery stain on the carpet and the kids insist they don't know what it is? Or you're just ready to give the house a good spring cleaning? Call Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Call today for spring specials.
Service Master Clean. For the clean you expect and the service you deserve. It's okay, AJ.
ESPN 95.3. Halftime is brought to you by 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Upgrade your evening on the Avenue. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Wide open in the middle of the field. Hayden inside the 20, inside the 10. Hayden's going to the house. The Hogs ran it right up the middle. Nobody was there. 38 yards. And the Hogs are a PAT away from tying this one up.
877-377-6963. Good for a call or a text. That's our Cherokee Casino hotline. We want you to be a part of the show. What do we have? It's like it's in the 30s right now, degrees. You know, the overnight, Ty, all you would have need to do to make your mountains turn blue on your silver bullets is just put your six-pack outdoors. You don't even need a refrigerator right now.
All right, since you bring that up, when we went to Breckenridge, Colorado for our junior ski trip when I was in college, we didn't have enough room in the fridge. So we bought Coors Light, swear to God, and we just put them outside. And because if it was snowing outside and there was so much cold, it was so cold, I think Breck was middle 20s that week. They were freezing. They're always blue. So that's a great story from my my junior years. We just kept our beers outside. Then when we got thirsty, we'd walk out, grab a beer, come back in.
I always loved I forget which beer did this commercial, and I don't know if it was Coors Light or another one, but it was like, this is the fishing beer. This is the beer you're going to take fishing.
Yeah.
And the best thing to do is to ice your beer down in a very cold stream that you're fishing in, so you can hook yourself a fish, you can hook yourself a silver bullet all at the same time.
That sounds like a Tommy Kraft thing. I haven't been fishing since I think sophomore year.
It's like a Clay Henry and Tommy Kraft thing.
Yeah, no, exactly. But it's the official beer of Saturday morning. So when you wake up, you turn on your college game day, go to your mini fridge, grab an ice cold Coors Light, cold lagered, cold filtered, cold package, always cold. And Phil, as you mentioned, it has the blue on it, so you know your beer's as cold as the Rockies. And I forgot, what are you supposed to do when the mountains are blue? Remind me again.
Was it you grab your boo?
You grab your boo.
You grab your boo, and you give her your second. You have two, you grab your boo, you give her the second one.
Exactly right. Or if you're single, you just take them both. Coors Light, made to chill.
That's very selfish of you, Ty.
I'm
very
a selfish person, I guess.
Yeah, Mike in Fort Smith letting us know that was a different beer. I'm not going to mention the other beer, though, Mike. And I did remember, but it was another one of those beers that's good in mountains, if you know what I'm talking about. Drew in Harrison says Arkansas football would be better off if they would have gotten the death penalty than let Brett Bielema recruit and be their coach. And now the same with Morris. So Drew is in. He's way down in the dumps, way down in the dumps. And I think that mirrors what a lot of other people are saying. I don't know what B from Clarksville want to say. He texted Phil with an ellipse, and there's nothing after that. So BE, you were supposed to. I thought he was going to make me chicken pot pie yesterday. I never made it over. Is that what the ellipse means, or was that something else?
I don't know. I don't know if it's that, or if he's disappointed that you thought the football program might have still taken a downturn if Frank was still the athletic director. I think that's when the text was sent. So I guess that could have been it. I don't know. So.
Well, you know how I am about the things about, back in the day, things were always better.
Back in my day.
I don't know.
Well, they were better.
They were better in football. They definitely were better. It's just anytime I hear that phrasing, back in my day or back in this day, I just it's laziness, And look, I saw Bart Pullman tweet about a column that he just read that made his head hurt. I think he and I read the same column, and it's one that you referred to. It's just hearkening back to the good. It's lazy writing. There's better stuff to write about than that.
Okay, so I'll defend Wally here because I know we have different opinions on Wally. If you, outside of the Jack Crow Citadel 92, there was not a point in Arkansas football where it's the purgatory that it is now. And I know a lot of times radio hosts are broadcasted as over-exaggerating, embellishing, or making up the points. But I think the majority of our listeners, the fan base, and everyone else that has ties to the Arkansas program would agree that it's never been worse this long, this sustained stretch as it has right now.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. I just don't know if there's look, this gets to the point of what we've talked about for the entire week, that you're in a no-win situation right now. A no-win situation. I don't really know if there's much that Hunter Yurachek can do to get out of this no-win situation other than hope for lightning in a bottle with the coaching staff you have right now. And right now they're having trouble putting two pennies together or getting rid of that coaching staff. And then potentially, you're open to all this money that gets spent on buyouts. You still don't know whether or not you're going to have to pay a full buyout to Bielema. You risk potentially losing this great recruiting class. It doesn't have anything to do with Frank. It's just a no-win situation for where you are right now, this very minute. And if Frank was in this situation, I don't know if he'd be able to figure out a way out of it. I think what Wally's point is, under Frank, it would not have gotten to this point. But I don't know if this isn't Hunter Yurachek's doing. A lot of people, and you're probably correct about this, and this was one of the points Wally made in his column, this goes back to Jeff Long.
Yeah, that jock sniffer Jeff Long, as Wally referred to him in one of his articles a couple months back. And then, you can look to leaders over the history of the world. Some guys fail, some guys succeed. Frank was fantastic at his job. Now, there are times that he messed up as an AD. We don't have to get into those. He didn't walk on water, but he gave Arkansas a lot and was attributed a lot more success than he was failures. And so when you're in this situation now and you're talking about guys that you can pin it on, it's not just Chad Morris, it's Brett Bielema, it's the way that Jeff Long and his team orchestrated the contract for Brett Bielema. You're just in a situation where you're just like, man, I wish Frank was still I wish the late Frank Broyles was still the AD, because again, it never got to that point. Frank was a part of the football program for since the 40s or 50s? That is just I could be I got to look back and see when he was the AD. Let me go to that real quick. But for so long, for them to have so much success in so many different eras, that's what I think people were just like, man, he had that sustained, and it wasn't national championship year after year. But again, it wasn't to this point, Phil.
Did you get into Deion Sanders' name getting tossed around to Florida State?
I asked AT about it. Let's get into it right now.
Well, I was just wondering, who would be the one Arkansas player that you would want to come back and coach? So everybody always wants to say it's got to be somebody that's got a connection to the Arkansas football program. I don't think that's the case. I think that's way overdone. But if you were to pick one, who would it be? Are you going to try to get Darren McFadden to come back and coach? You're going to go to Clint Sterner and say, hey, come back and coach. Who's the guy? Who's the one?
It's a good question.
Honestly here, let's be honest on this, too. The thought of Deion Sanders being the next head football coach at Florida State is insanity.
Yeah.
That's insanity. This is the kind of thing you can do in basketball. This is not the sort of thing you can do in football. It doesn't work that way.
I heard John and Tommy talking about this. Penny Hardaway coming up from the AAU circuit. Juwan Howard coming from the NBA ranks to coach Michigan. There's probably Chris Mullen coaching St. John's, which eventually didn't work out. That is more easily understandable to go that route because it's not like coaching basketball isn't extremely difficult at the collegiate level, at the D1 level, at certain schools. But to come in, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if Deion has any coaching experience. Does he?
None.
Yeah.
I think he's got a little coaching experience, like with maybe a little bit of high school, but I think that's it, and it's on a volunteer basis. He's not a coach. He's an analyst.
Yeah, so
he knows the game. I'm not saying he doesn't know the sport. He could probably coach defensive backs just fine. He's not a head coach. He'd be a figurehead at best.
That idea just doesn't. Again, basketball-wise, it makes a little more sense, and you can understand it. That doesn't necessarily mean that person's going to lead you to the national championship, but football, it's a lot harder to grasp. And I know, like, you mentioned the Oregon State head coach was a quarterback there. Scott Frost was a legendary quarterback in Nebraska. There's others that have played there, but typically you don't see the absolute stars, the absolute studs turn out well as head coaches because I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, they live certain points off their reputation to a certain extent. And they feel like that they can kind of coast more than the traditional grind coaches that have had to work their way from the very top or the very bottom, and that's just not how it works in collegiate sports when it comes to coaching athletics.
Tom in Fort Worth says Barry Lenny Jr. Jeffrey from Dirk says DJ Williams. Drew in Harrison says Casey Dick, and Adam from Wynn says Jimmy Johnson, but he's probably too old now, and I think you're right about that. I think he is a bit old for that, but Casey Dick, it's interesting. He's not had any college experience. DJ Williams never been a coach. Barry Lenny's an interesting idea. That's an interesting idea. He's been a coach for a while. Obviously, he got connections here to the school as a former quarterback. And I don't know. I do think it's overdone, the idea that you got to have a connection to the football program or just Arkansas in general to be the coach here. It doesn't really work that way. Halftime brought to you by Breeden RV in Van Buren. Breeden RV and Power Sports continues with their year-end clearance sale. Great deals on new RVs, travel trailers at $99.95 and fifth wheels under $30,000. Breeden RV also gives all new customers maintenance for life for free. That's Breeden RV and Power Sports in Van Buren. Now's the time to camp. Let them show you how easy it can be. BreedenRVs.com for the inventory and more information. We're going to have our college football picks. We're also picking Hogs and Western Kentucky, so stay tuned. We'll put a cherry on the top after this.
You're listening to Halftime.
Protection with possibilities. Have past losses made you cautious about taking on risk with your investments? Are you concerned that your savings are not generating the returns you need? If you are interested in protecting your money and capturing potential investment growth, contact Brad Lewis at United Financial Advisors at 242-7466 or ufadvisors.net to see whether market-linked CDs may be the right solution for you.
Securities and advisory service offered through Royal Alliance Associates, member FINRA, SIPC. United Financial Advisors is a marketing destination.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is the only place to watch the Hogs. Watch every game at Joe's. Enjoy half-price apps and taps during the game. And with TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat. Half-price appetizers like brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, 10-layer dip, or Joe's humongous sampler platter. All half-price. And all beers on tap are half-price. Watch every Hog game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code. Lesson 42. This is how you say happy hour. It's happy hour. Let's go get some Bud Lights. That's it for today.
Brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light. Crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Fall is here, and at Frank Pro Furniture in November, now is the time to buy. Come in and take advantage of our many made-in-the-USA products. Lift chairs, we have them. Sectionals, reclining sofas and loves, we have them. Bedroom furniture and mattresses, we have them. We also carry a variety of appliances and TVs. In November, come in and receive 10% off on any purchase. Ask us about our financing programs. We have several options that will meet your needs. Only at Frank Row Furniture. Best seats in the house.
That's the secret phone. The what? Remember? I told you my dad's a shelter agent. When that phone rings, he rushes out to save the day. Whether someone's home or car gets damaged, my dad is always there to help. He has the coolest job ever.
Well, my dad's an astronaut.
That's cool too, I guess.
Find your insurance superhero at shelterinsurance.com.
Ask shelter agents Randy Milam or Brad Howe about a free insurance review.
Want to have more than your average home? D&D Flooring is a simple choice. You can choose to have excellent customer service and design assistance with D&D Flooring. Wood, vinyl, carpet, to beautiful window treatments, professional installation every time. 0 financing options available. Come see D&D Flooring large showroom and selections. D&D Flooring, serving the River Valley and surrounding areas. 1323 Main Street, Van Buren, or call 474-0533.
We can all use extra table space for holiday dinners. Stop at a Metters Lumber True Value for the 6-foot deluxe folding table at just $34.99. It's lightweight and easy to carry. It folds in half for easy storage and has a top that won't chip, peel, or stain. For extra seating, pick up 1 or more all-steel folding chairs too. Just $13.99 each. Head over to Metters Lumber True Value for these bargains of the month and other great deals while supplies last.
Is your home secure? No, really. Is your home secure? Do you just ignore the dog yapping, roll over, and go back to sleep? Guardtronic, the oldest alarm company in Arkansas, can make sure you sleep soundly. Founded in 1959, Guardtronic will make sure your home or business is protected against fire and burglary. How much do you have to lose? Call us at 785-2323 for a free quote before the bad guys make a call on you. Or visit Guardtronic.com. License E050.
ESPN 95.3. Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
He lost it. And Arkansas, Tony Bua comes away with it, and Arkansas comes away with the win in 7 overtime.
Closing out halftime with some picks for Arkansas, Western Kentucky, and also our weekend picks for college football games that start later tonight. I am squarely behind the 8 ball, trailing Ty 32-19, which now that I think of it, if you added another point to me, I think that could be the final score of Arkansas Western Kentucky, 32-20. I might go with that. I don't know. I'll think about it in a moment. But what do we have? We got like 4 weeks left in the season, Ty, and then all the bowl games. So my opportunities are becoming fewer and farther between to find a way to force you to watch The Exorcist, which I think might cancel you for an entire week if you do. I'm going to have to cancel myself if I have to suck down some disgustingly spicy chicken wings, which, as of right now, I think I'd like to if I have to do this, I think I'd like to combine the Polar Plunge with the hot chicken wings so that maybe, swimming in freezing cold water might help me deal with, food that feels like it's been cooked on the sun.
I'm curious to see what's more affected, your just mouth, your stomach, your intestines. I'm going to need a full play-by-play report from you as this is going on. And I hope that I'll be on location with you wherever we end up doing this. I had the idea that we do it at Arts. We give Wade the sauce. That way it's not only on top of the chicken wings, but it's smoked inside it. So there's not a bite of the chicken wings that isn't thoroughly covered in whatever sauce we end up using.
What happens if I come back and tie you? What if we finish in a tie? Then we will both eat disgustingly hot chicken wings while watching The Exorcist.
No, there's no ties in this. There's no ties.
It came down to the tiebreaker last year. I mean,
that's right. Yeah.
What was the tiebreaker? Was it who scored first in the playoff championship game?
Yeah. What happened was
it was the pick six. I got screwed.
Yeah. Clemson got the first drive. I was feeling confident, and it was like a 3 and out or 2 drives and out. I was like, I'm screwed. Tua is about to throw a little slant route that Ruggs, Waddle, Judy, or one of the dudes, Smith, going to take to the house. Instead, Clemson calls a blitz. They run this bubble screen, and the Clemson cornerback beats his guy and picks it off and takes it to the house. I'm sitting with Scott Blair, Tommy, and John, and I'm wearing my Deshaun Watson jersey, and I'm getting up screaming. Everyone's looking at me like, what the heck is this kid doing?
Yep.
And little did they know that that was the nail in the coffin.
And then the text arrived on my phone, hey, buddy. just a very simple, hey, buddy. And I felt like a complete and utter loser, which I have felt like now for, pretty much since the college football season started. And I think one of the reasons is because as I've let you get the picks of the picks. You've made your picks first. So I did a little, getting ready for this last night while I was waiting for Mike Neighbors before we went to dinner. And I'm looking on my phone. I'm like, this is my chance. It's like I have no idea what games I'm going to pick when I wake up tomorrow. I got a basketball game to worry about. So I had dibs on the games. Maybe, just maybe, that will lead to me finally having a better week for probably the first time for the entire season.
Let's go, baby.
I'll start with Purdue at Northwestern. This isn't a great game. Northwestern stinks this year. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's communism and the RPO, or maybe it's these ridiculous kids with their iPhones, and Coach Fitzgerald just can't figure out how to communicate to them. Northwestern stinks.
RPO is the purest form of communism.
The game's being played at Ryan Field in Evanston. Purdue on the road is a 2-point favorite. I'm going to take the Boilermakers. I'll take any team against Northwestern right now. Even a bad Purdue team on the road as a favorite, I'll take the Boilers -2.
All right, so I know we have a game that we're both picking later, so I'll skip that first one. Baylor, TCU. The Bears are 2.5-point favorites heading down to Fort Worth tomorrow. It's going to be a fun game. It's always been a really fun game. It's kind of the preppy Texas school rivalry. I'm hoping that Baylor does not look ahead to Oklahoma next week. Very likely college game day destination. So I'm taking the Bears this week. I'm hoping they do me and my dad proud this weekend.
So I don't know how long it's been since Kansas State beat Texas, but I have a feeling it might happen this weekend. Mm-hmm. And Kansas State goes in to Austin as a 7-point road underdog. And look, I understand them being an underdog. I think it's a pretty lengthy spread, especially for the team that beat Oklahoma, albeit in Manhattan. But I think Kansas State can cover 7 points in Austin, so I'll take the Wildcats +7.
Second pick for me, Iowa State at Oklahoma. You got to remember, Matt Campbell's squad went in to Norman, Oklahoma, and beat the Sooners 2 years ago with Baker Mayfield. I think Oklahoma's very ticked off the way that they've been characterized after the Kansas State loss, and I just think they're going to beat the tar out of the Cyclones. I got Oklahoma -14 at home. I'm sure Brett from Spyro is going to like that.
LSU +6 at Alabama. Thank you very much. With Tua Tagovailoa probably not at 100%. I think the Alabama offense will have their moments, but I don't think they will keep up with LSU. I think LSU is going to win this game, and they are a road underdog +6. I'll take the Tigers.
So, Phil, I'm hoping I'm wrong on this because I truly want LSU to win this football game. But similar to Arkansas against Texas A&M, similar to Arkansas against any football team for that matter, it's hard to pick against Alabama. They haven't lost since 2011. If you're looking at Nick and Ed Orgeron, you always got to go Nick Saban, even though I love Eddie O. So I'm taking Alabama this weekend, even though I hope LSU wins the football game.
Drew and Harrison says Arkansas would lose to Northwestern in what could be a battle of worst football programs, not including Rutgers. Now, what about Arkansas v. Rutgers? Let's hope that's a series you never have to watch again. My Moneyball pick, this Oregon State team has turned things around. Under second-year coach Jonathan Smith, they've picked up victories in 3 of their last 4. Washington has struggled quite a bit. Now, this game is in Seattle. Oregon State, this is tonight, is a 10-point underdog. I have done very well going with Oregon State I'm going to take the Beavs plus 10 as my money ball.
So my money ball this weekend, and I'm very, very not. You know, as a money ball, you're very confident.
It's supposed to be like your stone cold lock.
I went back and forth on this one several times. Iowa's playing at Wisconsin. The over/under is 38 points. I really wanted to take the under, but life is too short to take the under, Phil. Last 2 years, they bust the score total. I think they do it again. What I'm hoping happens is that Jonathan Taylor just has a field day against the Iowa Hawkeyes defense, and he rushes for like 200-something yards, and they just blow out Iowa. But I'm scared that this could be a very tightly contested matchup, but I'm taking the over 38 for my money ball pick, Phil.
Iowa's usually involved in some pretty low-scoring games.
I know, that's why I'm scared.
I mean, 10-3 against Michigan, 17-12 against Penn State. 18-17 against Iowa State. That's a risk. As a money ball, I know why you don't quite feel as confident as you should.
There just wasn't another game that really was like, man, I really want to take this. And I just like the intriguing aspect of it as well, Phil.
All right, so now to the game tomorrow. We have to pick it, I guess. Arkansas, Western Kentucky. You know what I've been saying. I mean, I can't pick Arkansas to win a game until they show they can. This is not a team that knows how to win football games. I don't care who it is you're playing. If you've already lost at home to San Jose State, if you've been blown out 153-41 in the last 3 weeks, if your only FBS win has come because of a good fourth quarter against a bad Colorado State team, this is not a football team that knows how to win games. And look, Western Kentucky is not a world beater. They're just a halfway decent Conference USA football program. But Western Kentucky is going to win tomorrow. I'm going to say the final score will be look, I don't trust Arkansas's defense to do much right. You know, I think they'll get run on. I don't think Ty Storey is going to have some huge day, but I think he'll run on Arkansas a little bit. And I have a feeling that Arkansas offensively will put the ball on the ground a couple of times, and you might have something returned for a touchdown. So I'm going to go Western Kentucky 30, Arkansas 21.
So going over a couple Hogs Illustrated predictions before I get into mine. Clay's got Arkansas 27-20. Matt Jones, Whole Hogs, got him 24-16. Seth Campbell's got Western Kentucky win 35-20. Harry Keene's got Arkansas 27-24. Tommy has Arkansas 34-28. Dudley's got Western Kentucky 24-21. Scotty's got Arkansas 27-17. Bart has Arkansas 27-24. And John has Arkansas 21.
Do you know how weird it feels right now to be sitting inside Bud Walton Arena and to predict an Arkansas football loss to Western Kentucky while I'm here?
I think it'd be a little more weird if you picked an Arkansas basketball or women's basketball loss, but it's still slightly weird. I feel
like I've been realistic about those things.
What would be funny is if Kyle Parkinson or Mike Neighbors or one of the Arkansas people walked by as you made your prediction and just kind of gave you like a weird look, like you have no confidence in this team, just a weird look, but it would be at the same time, I think they would understand.
Let's just put our cards on the table here, okay? Anybody that is connected to this athletic department right now, how could you have any confidence whatsoever in football's opportunity tomorrow?
Mike,
at all. These are the people that probably know best.
Mike from Fort Smith texted in on the Cherokee Casino hotline. He says, I hope you're wrong, Phil, but my gut feeling is the same way. So
all right, Ty, what do you think?
I'm thinking 38-24 Arkansas. I just have a weird feeling. I know that Ty Storey is going to come in here highly motivated, but sometimes you can be too amped up. And I've said it before this week. I'll say it again. I think John Stephen Jones struggles. I think KJ shines, and then he's left to unfortunately start his first official collegiate game in Death Valley in 2 weeks. No one wants to see that, but it's going to happen, Phil.
So you're calling it a weird feeling, right? Are you sure that's not indigestion or something wrong with you?
I had a couple chicken biscuits this morning. It could be.
So it's probably indigestion. That's the weird feeling. That's where you're going to be wrong because Arkansas is going to lose tomorrow. One thing's for certain, you and me are talking about it at Hog Reaction after the broadcast is done. So we'll talk with you tomorrow. For Ty, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.